Labas and welcome to Vilnius, Lithuania. Now first of all you're probably asking, what the hell is Wendall doing in Vilnius, Lithuania? Well, I'll answer that question throughout the video, but first of all I've just got out from the plane. I'm very fresh from a long journey, and how ornate is this airport? Hopefully the camera does that justice, because without a doubt it's the most ornate airport entrance I've ever had. Now, I'm absolutely cream crackered, because although Vilnius in Lithuania, if you know where it is, it's just northeast of Poland. It's less than a 3-hour flight, but the journey from Cornwall to Vilnius is much more laborious, much more complicated and much more lengthy. So in essence it's took me a couple of days to get here, so I'm very tired, but I'm going to soldier through for the purposes of giving you this fresh off the plane, wet behind the ears, first time in Lithuania video. So I'm in Lithuania because tomorrow I've got to meet some friends who are going to accompany me around the country a little bit, and we're going to go to another country as well, where I am hopefully going to meet up with another YouTuber, but I won't confirm who that is yet, because a few things have to fall into place still for that to happen. But I am armed in Lithuania. I've got 24 hours on my own, and I'm armed with only 2 Lithuanian words that I've learned, and that is labas, I think you pronounce it, which is like an informal hi, and then achu, which I can definitely remember because it reminds all us English folk of sneezing. And achu means thank you. So if I can say hi and thank you in this very foreign country to me, then that might be a start. Now, I was initially planning to make my way to my hotel, which is in the town centre, the old town. I was planning to do it via the train, but I'm so tired I think I might just jump in a taxi. But there's a little interesting thing about this hotel. I booked the hotel because it seemed the best value with the best location. It wasn't the cheapest hotel I could find online, but it certainly was probably the best value for its location. And then 24 hours after I had paid for the night stay, I got this email, which makes the plot thicken. Let's see if I can find it on my phone. It's quite bright out here, you probably can't see. Where are we? So this hotel's called the Hotel Rudninkai. It says, "Dear customer, Hotel Rudninkai is now classified as a no reception hotel. Hotel entrance and hotel room key will be sent to your mobile device. Upon arrival, you will not have any direct contact with the hotel staff, as they are simply not there." And I will probably put that email up on the screen for you now to prove that I'm not making that up. So join me as I'm fresh off the plane, my first time ever in the intriguing small country of Lithuania. Join me on my journey as I go and check into the hotel with no staff. You ever stayed in a hotel with no staff before? I've stayed in rentals obviously with no staff before, but a hotel with no staff? Intriguing prospect. So I had to download the room key to an app on my mobile phone before I flew out. So I'm really hoping that my phone doesn't break down on me or anything. I mean, I don't know what you'd do if you were not mobile phone savvy, or if you didn't have a smartphone. You'd really struggle to actually stay or check into this hotel. Now, what am I going to do? Am I going to get the train, or am I just going to get a taxi? It seems there's a bit of a queue for taxis. I always feel a bit disorientated when I go abroad to somewhere where everyone drives on the right, because consequently when you're walking down the path everyone walks on the right as well. And I end up bumping into everyone for the first few hours until I figure it out and start walking on the right. La Bas. Old Town.
The Old Town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay? Thank you. Achoo. It's a very beautiful airport. The building.
It's old building.
Is it Soviet building?
Soviet,
Yeah,
yes.
it's beautiful. The decoration inside. I've never seen an airport like that. Not Soviet. So here I am, dropped off in the centre of Vilnius with no access to mobile data and not much idea as to where my hotel is. Although I think I've just seen it over there, that's it. The City Hotels, Rudninkai. So, at least I've got a good marker as to where my hotel is. Over there in the square, you probably saw it when I was just dropped off. There's a giant egg in the centre of a square. So as long as I make my way back to the giant egg, I'll show it you here. Then for my short time in Vilnius, I know where my hotel is. So, this is the $1 million question. Does this electronic key that I downloaded 2 days ago when I was in Cornwall, that apparently is in my phone, it's on an app that I had to download, which is this one here. Apparently if I hold my phone over the entry pad, it unlocks the door. And so far, great success, because as if by magic, this like e-room card has allowed me access. I expected a drama. I expected to have to try and call someone who doesn't speak much English or something like that. But yeah, here I am in the hotel that has no staff. 205. So let's find room 205, see if the electronic key card stored magically in my phone allows me access to that room as well. And then let's show you what, I didn't tell you how much, did I? So this room is £33 a night, about 38 euros. Let's see what you get for 38 euros a night in a hotel with no staff. So I've found room 205. Does it work on here? Not so well. 205. 205. It does work. I must say that's pretty impressive technology. So trying to budget well on this trip, I would have much preferred a far more characterful hotel, but I'm only in Vilnius for one night, so to be honest, immediately this just reminds me of like an Ibis or a travel lodge back in the UK. I'm sure city hotels are probably a very similar chain, maybe throughout Europe, throughout Eastern Europe. Let's check out the view. I've got a view of the egg. It's warm in here, I know that. There you go. That's your 38 euro room with a view of a big old, possibly Soviet egg. In Vilnius, Lithuania, there's a Bible, the New Testament Bible. If things go wrong, I can resort to confiding in the Bible for 38 euros a night. Okay, let's check out this. Let's check out this bathroom. The lights don't work. Do I have to do something to make the lights work? Okay, so it's still got one of these key card enacting light and aircon. Is there aircon? I don't think there's aircon. Yes, there is. So now we can take a look at the bathroom. Can we? There we go. Nice big shower head. Pretty basic room, but it'll do me for the night. I am absolutely knackered, folks, and I'm probably not going to go to sleep because I always get really excited when I end up in new countries that I haven't been before, especially ones that are that new, different and completely surprising in every way to me as Lithuania. But I definitely need to freshen up, change clothes before I go. So yeah, I'm going to be looking to find something to eat as well. So if you give me a short recess, folks, then I'll get my shit together and I'll take you on my very first little wander around Vilnius as I go and try and find something to eat by saying, what's the word? Labas. And then when they've given me the food and it's all good, achoo. Back shortly. Okay, I am suitably refreshed. You can probably tell from my demeanour that I'm a little bit more awake. I haven't had a sleep, but just it's amazing what a good shower does, and just an hour's chilling when you've been travelling on and off for 24 hours. I've just come across one slight annoyance about the whole key card in the phone shenanigans, and that is that I thought, oh, my phone's pretty low on charge. I'll leave my phone on charge in the room, but I was just about to walk out the room, and consequently I realised that the bloody key is a ghost in my phone. So I can't leave my phone on charge. You have to go everywhere with your phone, and if your phone runs out of charge while you're out, well, you're done, aren't you? But what I'm doing now is I'm walking the streets of Vilnius. I'm walking towards the old town. Don't have long in this city, but we're going to have a look around the old town and some of the beautiful heritage architecture there, medieval architecture that is quite famous. And then I'm going to swing east from there and go over to probably the part of Vilnius that interested me the most when I was first planning to come here, and that is the self-declared Republic of Ujipis. Ujipis. I'm probably pronouncing that terribly. It sounds awkward to say, and I'm sure my fixer, Mr. Gabe, tomorrow will correct me in my pronunciation. But for today's video, Ujipis, that's what we're going for, Ujipis. Right, we're going to head up to the old town, see what we can find along the way, see if we can find some Lithuanian delights, because I am Hank Marvin, and then we're going to go over to Ujipis and I'll tell you a little bit about that republic there. Bit of a city walk. I can always get myself a Guinness over at that place over there. Not really high on my list of food and drink priorities when I've just arrived in Lithuania. A pint of Guinness, or a pint of that bloody awful Hop House 13 lager. One of those craft but not craft beers. Wendall does not agree. I quite like doing these first impressions of type videos when I go to these places that I haven't been before. I really like you to see what my first impression of these places is, because I'm quite a fan of that feeling of the unknown when you travel abroad. Nothing ever beats the first night, the first day when you're wandering around. You haven't got a clue what's going on, you never know what's around the next corner. And so I like to try and get you to experience that with me. Ujipis, I'm on the hunt for the Republic of Ujipis, and I hope I'm heading in the right direction. Apparently Ujipis in Lithuanian means the other side of the river. So at some point, if I cross the river, then I'm probably going in the right direction. Let's see where my wanders take me. I'm going to make a bold statement, folks. So, I'd never really been to Eastern Europe in my life before the last couple of months. I had been to Prague a long time ago. Does that count as Eastern Europe or Central Europe? But I've been to Krakow, and then now I'm in Vilnius, and obviously I know that these are probably the most touristy parts of the nations of Poland and Lithuania, and there's a lot of you know, old historic architecture, but these places are incredibly beautiful, and I think we're often in the West given this idea that they're not the most desirable places to go to. I think there's an element of censorship, and there's an element of mistruth about that, probably stemming back from the disagreements between the Soviets, the USSR and the West historically. But that's not the case with Wendall's explorations so far. Okay, I found Užupis. So you see there on the banner as you enter the Republic of Užupis, the symbol for the Republic, which is the hand with a hollow centre. Now what does that signify? Well, the idea is that a hand with a hollow palm can never accept bribes, and the Republic of Užupis was created with the ideal of having a more utopian society. And I'm going to wander the quaint and very individual streets here and try and find the plaques that are on the wall somewhere, and they tell you all the different rules, the so-called laws of Užupis. Užupis is also, it's got its own government, it's got its own currency, it had its own army before it was disbanded not so long ago because it wasn't needed. I don't think it's inaccurate to say that so far in my half an hour of wandering around Vilnius that it's very much like a cuter, smaller Krakow. Very clean, very friendly, not too touristic. I think if you've enjoyed a visit to Krakow in Poland, but you found it all just a little bit touristy, then I think Vilnius is the next place for you folks. Just as easy to get to. Pretty easy flight from London Luton. This looks like an interesting bar. So I had to make a quick pit stop for a beer because that's what I do. But I haven't eaten anything now for quite a long time, so consequently that very reasonably priced €3 IPA has gone to my head a little bit, but I still have enough gumption about me to show you the rules of the constitution of Užupis. So I think if you read through the constitutional rules of the Republic of Užupis, it's fair to say that it is a attempt at creating quite a liberal utopia, and it's quite a interesting and unique social experiment. Basically, in short, people that reside in this republic have the right to be as free as they can reasonably be without affecting the rights of others. I was just thinking about the rules, the ideals of the republic here, and the idea that people should be free to have as much freedom as they can have without infringing upon the rights of others, which I think basically is the foundation of the Republic's utopian ideals here. And it reminds me of when I studied philosophy at university, and I spent a little bit of time studying a book by the Canadian writer Charles Taylor called The Politics of Multiculturalism, and I haven't found a book that sits with me more convincingly than that book, when you try and take the wants and needs of many different subjective parties and try and make a utopian ideal that makes everyone happy. It doesn't really ultimately create a very stable, strong and functional nation state, or even a tiny republic like Ujapis. But if you're interested, check that book out. I'll put a link in the description below. Let's focus now on wandering the streets of the old town a bit more. Let's focus on getting Wendall a feed, because it's just about time I gained some sustenance. Yeah, not Heineken. No. No. I get that everywhere. Achu. Achu. So I decided not to choose a romantic restaurant on my solo travels, and I've chosen a venue that probably isn't exactly what you would think of when you come for a short break in a beautiful medieval Baltic city. But this comparison must be made. I'm absolutely starving because I haven't eaten since 5 AM UK time this morning. Big travel day. And I've become aware of the great chain that rivals McDonald's in these parts. Hesburger. Over here on the left. So I'm here to review Hesburger. Also to satisfy my very, very rabid hunger. But also to see how it stands up against McDonald's, because apparently it's the McDonald's of this part of the world. It originates in Finland, quite big in Estonia, and there are also plenty of them in Lithuania and Germany and some in Bulgaria. So let's go in to the McDonald's of Lithuania and see how it stands up against it. So very abruptly but understandably, because not everybody likes to be filmed when they're at work, and I did walk in there shoving a camera in the Hesburger employees' faces. They asked me to sit outside. I'm quite happy to sit outside anyway because there is music playing inside. Don't want the video to get demonetised. But I'm going to sit outside, wait for them to bring it out. So already we've got one plus on McDonald's because they're bringing the food out to me restaurant style, but one negative because it was a very frosty encounter when I received the service. So let's see how this burger stacks up against the very, very much visited, much maligned McDonald's. There's also a very convenient and very well priced €1.50 beer bar just in the middle of the street, opposite Hesburger. Achoo. The package arrives. I think she's warmed to my presence as well. She got used to the fact that I'm sitting here filming myself outside, but when she asked me not to film her, I didn't. So this is the famous Hesburger. All neatly packaged. I am absolutely starving. Let's get this out. First impressions, it's very much fast food sized. Rogue chip. A couple of stray chips in the bottom. Pretty average fast food chips. Okay. First ingenious thing that Hesburger has done. Look at this Vickers collar that keeps your burger together. Isn't there nothing more annoying than when you go to McDonald's or Burger King in the UK and it's just been thrown together in a haphazard manner? If I had these Vickers collars and your burger comes in perfect form. There we go. So I chose a number one item. Do not ask me to translate it. I didn't even know what it was called because it looked the most like a Big Mac. So this is the original Hesburger, I think it's called. Looked the most like a Big Mac. So I thought it was the best thing to choose to compare to McDonald's, which is the purpose of this little escapade. think I've got some ketchup in here too. Coke Zero to wet the whistle. Big old ketchup there, but I don't make ketchups that big in the UK. A little cup for my sauce. And a straw. Got someone drag racing on the other side of the street. Right, let's make some space for the review. So, we've got the original Hesburger. Let's have a look inside. Pretty small, pathetic looking patties, to be honest. Big Mac style sauce, very small. I think I could have had about 4 of these, to be honest. It'll keep me going until I find something a bit more traditional in a bit. Pretty skimpy looking fries. Not heavily seasoned. I think we're going to have to ketchup the hell out of this. Although top marks for the extra large, well, deceivingly like, seems large, but it's actually deceivingly small. So let's drop the camera a little bit. So the famous Hesburger of Eastern Europe and the Baltic states is not looking like it's going to fill me up very much. Head for comparison. Let's tuck in. Apparently Hesburger has a bigger share of the fast food market in these parts of the world, in Lithuania, Estonia, Finland and Bulgaria, than McDonald's does, but I'm struggling to see why. I'm about halfway through this burger now, and apart from the orange Hesburger sauce, the Big Mac sauce substitute, it's one of the most forgettable fast food burgers I've ever had. I haven't eaten for about 12-13 hours now though, and I've been travelling all day, so I am going to finish it despite the fact that it's very poor. Also, I forgot to mention that this Hesburger original combo was €6.50, which, when I come to think of it, it's not that cheap. Like maybe £5. Wouldn't be happy paying £5 for this at home. So that must be quite expensive here, because in general, so far, in my half day in Vilnius, things have been like half the price of the UK. So this is like a luxury fast food treat. Big disappointment. Pretty outspoken and unmistakable little exhibition here about the leader of Belarus, and I think probably a protest against the fact that he has allowed the access to the north of Ukraine for the Russian troops through the nation of Belarus. Clearly, they're not a fan of the leader of Belarus. To finalise my review of Hesburger, what can I say? Pretty poor. I think I'm probably going to give it like a 2 out of 10. Wasn't even that hot. Like lukewarm, tasteless, processed shit. Made McDonald's seem fresh, hot, seasoned and tasty, and that takes a lot. So to be honest, I was pretty open-minded. I thought maybe that Hesburger was seen as the McDonald's of this part of the world for a good reason, but I think the analogy is almost a bit of a Mickey take. It's worse than McDonald's, and I know there are McDonald's here in Vilnius, Lithuania. I'm glad I tried it, but I'll never try it again. In fact, I'm not glad I tried it because it was disgusting. Yeah, 2 out of 10. Maybe if I was in a better mood, it might get 3, but it's put me in a bad mood. So, folks, don't rush to Hesburger. It's definitely not even a competitor to McDonald's.